program Insight Education,
a TV program designed to enlighten the general public on the policies, activities and progress of the Delta State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education in its bid to provide a quality education for the good children of the state. It promises to be an interesting one. Rita Ubuaja is my name. It will offer insights into the workings of the ministry so that you can appreciate efforts that the present government is putting in place to ensure we have a solid foundation of education in the state.
This program will play host to current news of happenings in the ministry, hold developmental strides, as well as discussion sessions with pupils, students, their parents as well, teachers and other stakeholders in the ministry.
With the Smart Governance Administration, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Atawokowa, education in Delta State is experiencing a tremendous boost in its practices and standards as introduced by the Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education. Our focus on this week's episode is on the impact of the initiative Back to School, introduced by the Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Chief Patrick Uka. While our crew went out to sample opinions from students, parents, teachers and other stakeholders in the ministry. Stay with us.
No doubt, one area where the stronger Delta vision of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has made impact is in the primary and secondary education sector. The vision is to create the enabling environment for every child of school age to have unfettered access to education. To that extent, the State Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, under the watch of Chief Patrick Uka, has taken some steps and come up with some innovations that could show up standards by actively engaging the students to take their studies seriously. The Back to School initiative, the mindset change, the school resumption tests, and the Principals Cup football competition have in their different ways rekindled the interests of the pupils and students to actively participate in the all-important teaching and learning process. In order to ensure that these models introduced remain functional effective in achieving the desired results, every department of the ministry has been activated and empowered to drive the models to deliver on set goals. The Special Assistant to the Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Felix, expatiates on the key roles of the departments of the ministry.
To deliver lecture. Recently, our mindset talk was on attitude to successful schoolwork, and we encourage you that almost all three of our primary and secondary school had one or two of our models and our mentors going to schools to mentor them. And the output and the feedback we're getting is good. So because you can have a good classroom, you can have a good teacher, but if the student attitude is bad, then they may not be able to absorb the learning. So we're looking at the student as well. While looking at the teacher and the environment of teaching, we're also looking at the teachers. I want to emphasize that we have got very many private individuals who have set out in our school mentoring system. Part of the innovation that the ministry is also introducing is to involve communities, parent-teacher associations, strengthening parent-teacher association in our schools, the school management system. We want to return the old school management system in our school, whereby the running of the school is no longer a one-man show of the principal. We're strengthening the bossa, we're strengthening the vice principal of schools, who is the chief academic driver in schools. We're also involving communities in our school management. We have started in every ward to introduce the school advocacy, and mentoring committees. This will be headed by the highest ranked traditional ruler in each of the ward. It's going to comprise the security agencies, it's going to comprise the police, retired principals, community associations, and youth, presidents of youth associations. They will be involved in the school management. Vandalism will be called, discipline will be enhanced by involving the communities. We want the communities to own the schools within their communities. Government cannot do it alone, and we are appealing to private individuals to contribute their little bit in our private-public partnership to enhance the quality of education delivery in Delta State. Under our public-private partnership, in terms of management of schools, the support our schools has so many dimensions. You can adopt a school whereby you support government in terms of providing of infrastructure, in terms of provisions of amenities in our schools. So you can adopt a school. Some companies have adopted school within their areas of operations, and the government is ever grateful to them. Also, some communities, old students associations, alumni association, they are all participating in one way or the other. If you go to some of our schools, there are libraries, there are laboratories, and even their halls of residence are being renovated, new ones being built by their old boys or their old girls. This is very encouraging because we believe that the individuals and private sector has to support our school efforts, whether in terms of provision of infrastructure or in terms of mentoring and advocacy. You will know that in today's world there are so many distractions to our children. So the more hands that are on deck, the better for the upbringing of the child. So in our support a school program, individuals, companies, communities, and associations are encouraged to participate in supporting the ministry for the development of our schools. If you go to our schools, communities are helping, and we are grateful to such communities and associations. So it's all part of being people, everybody joining hands with government to enhance the quality of education in Delta State.
Insight Education also took the part to visit some schools to capture the mood of the pupils and students on what they feel about the paradigm shifts in the schools.
Since the mentorship, there are my friends that don't normally stay in class, but after the mentorship, their perspective has changed. They stay in class till the end of lessons, till the closure of the school. About our teachers and the lessons, I do enjoy lessons normally, but now I enjoy lessons more than before because the teachers are putting in their best interest, like to teach us. They don't skip lessons, they don't skip classes. About infrastructural development, the state government have brought in some laboratories like the physics lab, chemistry lab, and biology lab, and the labs has really helped us in our practicals, like chemistry practicals now. We learn more about practicals in the lab, like chemistry practical. We did chemistry practical and we really enjoyed it. Then physics, we also do experiments in physics. We also carry out experiments in physics lab. Then biology lab also, we are like yet to start in biology lab. I'm happy to be in a public school because when I was in private school, they don't normally teach like the way they do in public schools now. I'm grateful to the state government. I'm grateful to Mr. Ed and every other person that put in their best efforts to bring up our school.
I want to appreciate the state government for providing the computer lab for me and my fellow students. They have done a great thing for me and my fellow students. It have impacted my life. Before, I cannot operate computer. I was looking at it. I don't know what to operate, but now I can operate computer. I'm good at operating computer now. My teachers, they are all good. They are good. And I want to appreciate them. I want to appreciate my principal for making this thing possible. I want to appreciate Patience. I want to appreciate her for what she has done for Western Secondary School.
As expected, while some of the pupils and students commended and appreciated the state government for the positive changes they are witnessing, others were pointing out the expectations and areas they expect the government to do more.
I want to thank Governor Kowa for the great thing he has done for us by building this ICT lab for us. Personally, how it has affected me. Before, I don't know how to operate the computer, but now I'm good in operating it. And I want to tell him he should please help us in our physics and biology lab. We don't have more equipment in our lab, and he should please help us refurnish it. Before now, I lost interest in this subject, biology, because we had no equipment for practicals. So it all started last year, September. I started building this lab, and just some few months back, they finished it. And about 2 weeks ago, they equipped it. So I want to thank the state government, the governor, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, for wishing us a bright future. I want to really appreciate him.
I actually want to thank the state government for providing a chemistry lab for us, which I'm in right now. Before then, we've been using alternative to practicals, but now we're already seeing the real apparatus, and we are able to describe how they look like, and most of the chemicals, we have already seen them, and it has helped us in the aspect of titration, can be able to titrate. And again, most of the apparatus that we see in the textbook, we've been able to see it physically, and it makes me also feel as a UK.
Before we got our labs, we were not able to carry out the practicals. We're using alternatives to practicals, and so we're not able to understand what is really involved in these practicals. But since the introduction and since our labs were equipped, we were able to carry out these practicals and be able to understand what is really involved in these practicals. And this has aided our learning and understanding, because as a science student, we need to know how these operations are carried out and how to be able to do them when we are given the opportunity to do them. So we are very grateful to the state government for providing for us this lab, and we would like to encourage them to do more of this, and to help the students and the nation.
During the mentorship program, I was told to stay away from bad friends and bad company. So I am here to thank the state government for giving us this opportunity, because now I have stayed away from bad company and bad friends.
During the mentorship program, I learned about choosing good friends, and I choose them by their character. This makes my life change positively towards being achieved, making good goals in life. That is what I learned. And thanks to the Honorable Commissioner for giving us this opportunity.
So I say the mentorship program and resumption test has been a commendable one to the youth and the students of Delta State. The resumption test is the test that is taken when we resume school of every term. So I think it helps us in the sense that it keeps us on check. We are supposed to know that there is no time for resting. We should study every time. Keeps our memory back intact. We mainly do it on maths and English, so we are always on the line of knowing what we're supposed to do. The mentorship program introduced by the government, the Ministry of Education, has affected me by giving me a sense of vision that I should have someone to look up to, a mentor or a role model, someone that I admire. So I would say I want to be like someone that has a vision for the future. We are thanking the government and its administration and everyone involved with it. Saying a very big thank you, that it has really benefited us.
From the mentorship program, it really affected me positively, in the sense I learned a lot concerning attitude towards our school activities. It talked to us, encouraged us to read harder, because a hard-working person will surely make it in life. After applying this into my life, I find out that things are now moving on well. The way I do things before, I no longer do it. Normally before, I don't find it very important to wake up at night and read. Sometimes I feel sleepy, but now I will try my best, make up my mind to read at night. Even when I'm feeling sleepy, I'll try as much as possible due to the talk he has given to us. Due to this, I'm able to improve in night reading, and it has really helped me a lot. I'm appreciating the government, the governor, and every other person involved in this program, that they should keep it up. They've really helped us a lot, and I pray that the good Lord will continue to bless them for us. Thank you very much.
The head teachers, principals, and the teachers were not left out, as they also buried their minds on what they have seen on the wave of change in the school system.
I want to thank the Honorable Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Chief Patrick Oka, for introducing back to school test. It's really an encouragement to the students, part of the continuous assessment for the term. And the students are aware of it, so they don't joke with it. So it has brought a lot of changes in the school system. I want to appreciate His Excellency, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, for building a computer lab for West End Secondary School. And the computer lab is so equipped. We have everything we need. There's only few accessories that we need to have so that we'll be connected to the internet and the students can effectively work with it and browse with it. So most of the time now, the students, if they're not having lesson, they enter inside the computer lab. It's not locked up again as it used to be before. They use the computer lab. The teachers that are teaching computer science, they are there helping to direct them, to put them in the intellectual aspect of the school.
The resumption test is the impact has been quite tremendous, in the sense that students now in Delta State, they now come to school first day of resumption because they are all looking forward to the test. 2 days into that, they will write the test, which was not what we didn't have something like this prior to this point. You know, like it took them almost 1 week, some 2 weeks before they will resume after every resumption. But this time around, the first day of resumption, that first day, you see so many students coming back to school. Even the teachers will all look forward to, you know, resuming that first day of resumption. I mean, I think it's something we should all be happy about. And I pray that it will last. In the area of education, I think we have a lot of improvements. We have a lot of development. You can see like this building where we are standing is a new thing, because you go to the classrooms, you see that the students are more comfortable than they were before now. The chairs are supplied, the laboratory equipment in different departments. You can see our lab. If you just go there, you'll see our laboratories. The 3 laboratories are well equipped. I want to appreciate the state government for providing a lab for us. It has not really been easy to teach chemistry without a lab. We were just struggling teaching the theory aspect of the practicals. We were doing alternative to practicals, which was not too good for the students. But since we've gotten the lab, we've been getting the real joy of being a chemist and teaching it.
I'm grateful to the commissioner for this. Before this new laboratory for physics, chemistry, and biology, there was none. And when I came into the school, it wasn't easy for me to take the SS students because I have to talk verbally without any equipment, which wasn't right for a science student. Because while taking the sciences like physics, you must have the apparatus. For example, the meter rule, the Richter stand, then the glass prism, we have the potentiometer for electricity. When I taught them electricity, I have to talk without it. They were all looking at me. But with this new building, the commissioner, the government have given to us, we are grateful because teaching has really helped with a lab.
We headed to the streets now to get first-hand information from parents and guardians to know their opinions on the impact of the state government on education as it affects the lives of their children in Delta State. Stay with us.
Perhaps the most appropriate place to hear opinions on any issue was on the streets. Indeed, a vox pop was conducted on the present phase of public school education in Delta State. The views were a wide spectrum.
I like what our governor Okowa is doing, especially in education line. Especially this exam test they took in this beginning of this term. It makes them to coordinate in everything, to read their book. They are no longer praying too much at home. I want to use this opportunity to thank government for what they did in the life of children. Thanks. I'm happy when my children, they say they won't resume school. They say they are doing tests to show that government is improving and they are teaching very well.
My children went to government school and they are doing well. Government is trying now. As before, they changed, the school authorities changed, made them wake up in time, go in school in time. They now know how to read well again. The test when they write and they try well than what they had before. So I thank God for that. Government, they are trying. They will do more than this.
Chief Inspector of Education, CIE, bared her mind on proper delivery lesson by teachers in creating a quality standard of education.
I would say, I think I can comfortably say that the teachers are teaching very well, because once in a while we go out for inspection of schools. And when we go out for inspection is to check the quality of teaching and learning that is going on in our schools. And from our observations and reports, they have been doing well. The Back to School program is a very good program. And with the Back to School program, children now come back to school very early. Before, we will spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we won't see any of them. But because they know that once they come back, the following 2 days is exam. That is back to school, the resumption test. You see them coming back. This time, we recorded almost 100% of our schools, our children coming back for that test. So the Back to School program is a very good one. The mentorship program is another sound and highly commendable one. Our children have opportunity of being talked to. Most of them do things they do because they don't know. And then when you now talk to them, give them awareness, they see the vices in all they are doing and they begin to change. So the mentorship program is another beautiful program that I wish will continue, in our schools. And the way he's doing it, it's not only schools in urban areas, even schools in rural areas. And we have volunteers who are ready to go out and speak to these children. So it's a very good one. It's a good one. I want to commend our commissioner, and I want to say that he should continue. With God, all his ideas and all his programs will come to fruition. That's my prayer for him.
All said, the point needs to be made that the education of children of school age is the business of all and sundry. The state government, through the Education Ministry, has evolved some innovations. It behoves everyone, including parents, students, teachers, to partner with government and have all hands on deck to aid our children secure their future through education.
The efforts clearly underscores the ministry's commitment to the smart agenda of the Governor Okowa's administration in building a brighter future for the children of Delta State. Well, it is on this note we conclude this exciting episode. Please join our social media handles
on your screen and let us know how we can create a better educational system. Until next week, when we bring you another exciting episode, I am Rita Ubuaja. Thanks for staying with us. Bye for now.